Hello everyone. Today we will gain some basic knowledge regarding the Sales of Goods Act through some basic multiple choice questions. So without wasting any time, let's start with it. Question is, the word property in the Sale of Goods Act 1930 means which of the following? Options are A. Seller or transferor, B. Buyer or purchaser, C. Goods or subject matter, or D. Ownership or title. The correct answer to this question is option D. That means that the property as per Sales of Goods Act 1930 means the ownership or the title over an object. The next question is the section 10 of the Sales of Goods Act 1930 provides for fixation of price of goods by which of the following methods? Options are A. By the valuation of the third party, by the arbitrator, C. By the central government, or D. By the judge. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is, the fixation of price of goods is done by the valuation of the third party. The next question is the quality of goods under Section 2, Clause 12 of Sale of Goods Act 1930 has a reference to which of the following? Options are A. Fitness for a particular purpose, B. State or condition, C. Description, D. Either A or B or C. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is fitness for a particular purpose. This question is price under Section 2, Clause 10 of the Sale of Goods Act 1930 means options are A. The money consideration, B. The consideration given in form of goods, C. Partly money consideration and partly the consideration in goods, or D. Either A or B or C. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is the price consideration is the main thing that gives the meaning of price. Question is, let the buyer beware is a concept of which of the following? Options are A. Information center, B. Unfair trade practices, C. KV tempter, or D. Buyer kingdom. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, let the buyer beware is a concept of KV tempter. The next question is, which two parties are involved in the contract of sale? Options are A. Seller and buyer, B. Agent and principal, C. Customer and salesman, or D. Customer and supplier. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is, a seller and a buyer are involved in a contract of sale. The next question is, as per the Sale of Goods Act, movable goods does not include which of the following? Options are A. Gas, B. Growing crop, C. Electricity, or D. Money. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is, money is not included under movable goods in Sales of Goods Act 1930. The next question is, what should be the nature of goods for transfer of property in goods? The options are A. Ascertain goods, B. Unascertained goods, C. Future goods, or D. All of the above. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is, ascertained goods should be the nature of goods for the transfer of property in goods between a buyer and a seller. The next question is, an agreement to sell will become a sale in which of the following? Options are A. A future date, B. With immediate effect, C. Within 30 days, or D. None of the above. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is, an agreement to sell becomes a sale on a future date. The agreement to sell is just an agreement between two parties that the seller would be selling a goods for a certain price or a consideration, and the buyer would be accepting the goods in return of the consideration. Next question is A sold his laptop to B, but for some purpose, A retained the laptop with him. The laptop is stolen by C. In this case, the loss will fall on which whom? Options are A. The loss will fall on B. Option B. The loss will fall on C. Option C. The loss will fall on A. Or D. None of the above. The correct answer to this question is option A. That is, in the above situation, the loss will fall on B. Next question is existing goods can be classified as which of the following? Options are A. Ascertained goods, B. Generic goods, C. Both A and B, or D. None. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, the existing goods can be classified as both A and B, which are ascertained goods as well as generic goods. The next question is the unascertained goods are otherwise known as which of the following? Options are A. Specific goods, B. Generic goods, C. Future goods, or D. None of the above. The correct answer to this question is option D. That is, unascertained goods are known as unascertained goods and by none other name. The next question is in case of sale, the risk is upon which of the following? Options are A. The offerer, B. The buyer, C. The ownership, or D. The possession. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, in case of sale, the risk is upon the ownership or the owner of the goods. The next question is an agreement to sell. The ownership belongs to which of the following? Options are A. The ownership is definite, B. The ownership is mandatory, C. The ownership is conditional, or D. The ownership is immaterial in agreement to sell. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, during an agreement to sell, the ownership is conditional to the transaction. Next question is as per section 4, the Sale of Goods Act, a contract of sale may be options are A. Absolute, B. Conditional, C. Both A and B, or D. None of the above. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is both A and B. That means that as per section 4, the Sale of Goods Act, a contract of sale may be absolute as well as it can be conditional to something. The next question is in the contract of sale, there is an implied warranty that fill in the blanks. Options are A. Seller has a right to sell the goods. B. The buyer has a right to have and enjoy the quiet possession of goods only. C. The goods shall be free from any charge or encumbrance. Or D. The buyer has a right to have and enjoy the quiet possession of goods and that the goods shall be free from any charge or encumbrance. The correct answer to this question is option D. That is, in the contract of sale, there is an implied warranty that the buyer has a right to have and enjoy the quiet possession of the goods and that the goods shall be free from any charge or encumbrance. The next question is in the contract for sale of goods by sample and description, it is necessary that blank. Options are A. The bulk of goods shall correspond with the sample as well as description. B. The bulk of goods shall correspond with sample while it is not necessary that the bulk of goods shall correspond with the description. C. The bulk of goods shall correspond with the description and it is not necessary that the bulk of goods correspond with the sample. Or D. Variation of bulk of goods with sample and the description of good is only to be treated as a breach of warranty. The correct answer to this question is option A. That is, in the contract of sale of goods by sample and description, it is necessary that The bulk of good shall correspond with the sample as well as description. The last question is, as per section 2 in the Factories Act, who will be called as an adult? Options are A, a person who has completed 21 years of age, B, a person who is less than 19 years of age, C, a person who has completed 24 years of age, or D, a person who has completed 18 years of age. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is, an adult is a person, as per section 2 of the Factories Act, who has completed 18 years of age.